Greetings all, and welcome to the satellite video conference and webcast produced by the International Training Center of San Diego, California. I'd like to thank and acknowledge the entire ITC team operating under the very creative and capable direction of Dr. Miguel Cardenas, the founder and executive director. I am both a student of and an active participant in the rapidly changing international business landscape. And my goal for today's presentation is to share with you what I have seen as an evolving opportunity for participation in the supercharged growth taking place in the international business arena. As competition increases, so do the opportunities for success. Greater productive activity in any industrial segment tends to create an additional momentum for increased patterns of growth. Think of the competition that has taken place over the past 20 years regarding the information and communications industries. Look at the competition that was spawned by the rush to provide products and services to satisfy the clamor for increasingly more capable and less expensive computer equipment, software, and cell phones, and all the ancillary businesses that sprang up to service those burgeoning market demands. Now envision how the simultaneous growth of the globally integrated economy has exponentially increased consumers' demands for greater access to more products and services, as witnessed by the sharp increase of most countries' domestic gross product over the past decade. The twin drivers of strong competition and the integrated global economy have created an economic critical mass that is rapidly reshaping the typical business landscape worldwide. As the worldview regarding competition shifts from a regional to a global nature, organizations must also adjust their strategic objectives accordingly. Any major change in the way organizations conduct businesses can be uncertain, costly, and at times a disastrous endeavor. The need for organizational change is a constant in today's rapidly changing world of business. Fortunately, there are adaptive models that can be effectively employed to expedite a successful organizational change of course process. One such model is the ETK model, developed by Dr. Miguel A. Cardenas. In this model, E refers to the emotional, human dimensions that must be understood and addressed prior to initiating any significant plan of organizational change. T represents the technology networking dimension, and K symbolizes the need to comprehend how knowledge within the organization is deployed to achieve its mandated goals. In this presentation, I will be focusing on the T and K portions of the ETK model. Companies that seek to become competitive in this new global economic reality will have to go through a situational shift in their basic business premises to become operationally realigned for success. Technology networking and knowledge are two important pillars of the foundation for a positive, effective, and economical shift to a highly competitive organization within the international arena. There are three cascading trends converging into a single stream of transformational motivation which will drastically affect the way successful businesses will operate in this new era. The first trend driving this need for renovation is the power and importance of ever-expanding economic interdependence generated by the global economy. Secondly is the ubiquitous nature and availability of the current information and communication technologies, ICT. These tools make instantaneous, continuous international connectivity possible. The third, and perhaps the most important trend, is the coalescing factor created by the formation of networked venture partnerships and groups of associated organizations banded together for mutual strategic competitive advantages. These trends are so inexorably intertwined, they appear to function as a single impetus for change. However, the ability to form mutually synergistic international cooperatives has been made possible by the advances in the information technology infrastructures built over the past decade. There's an immediate need for businesses to acquire a global presence. The economic imperative for companies today is to focus on their core strengths while contributing their expertise to a network of partner organizations which will help them gain access to larger market opportunities. Think technology, networking on a global basis. While contemplating the nature of the integrated global economy, consider these rather intriguing and encouraging facts. Fareed Zakaria, in his interesting article, The Rise of the Rest, in Newsweek, May 3, 2008, points out that over 124 countries experience an economic growth of over 4% a year. 3% GDP is considered to be a healthy and sustainable rate of expansion. Antoine van Akmo, who coined the term emerging markets, identified over 25 companies that will become the next largest, most successful multinational corporations. These companies are not from the original list of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD nations, but rather from several of the newly minted economic powerhouses of this century. They include China, India, Brazil, Mexico, South Korea, Argentina, Chile, Malaysia, and South Africa. Dedrick, Jason, Kramer, and Linden, in their 2009 white paper, From Innovation and Global Value Chains, a study of the iPod and notebook PC's industrial and corporate change, report that 90% of all manufacturers source some form produced products or services in their final outputs. Consider the many sources of inputs for the iPod, sold by U.S. company Apple. The hard drive is produced by the Japanese company Toshiba, using affiliates based in China. The display module and display driver are also produced in Japan, while some smaller inputs are supplied from Korea. The final assembly is carried out by a Taiwanese company in a plant in the People's Republic of China. Furthermore, some U.S. suppliers provide the video multimedia processor as well as the portal player, each of which have component parts emanating from over a dozen other countries. Even the countries required as the bottom of the pyramid markets, BOPM, consisting of 4 billion people with annual incomes of less than $1,200, represent a massive marketing opportunity for global economic development and expansion. The economies of all nations are indeed intertwined. International sourcing now plays a major role in the service delivery and production processes at work within the global economy. This situation illustrates the need for a significant shift from the traditional operational and organizational business processes employed by the typical individualized, standalone, regional business entity to a more integrated, collaborative approach conducting businesses internationally. The major paradigm shift will require the many organizations wanting to compete effectively and to succeed in today's increasingly integrated global economy to reach out to diverse markets and to form cooperative agreements with business concerns that are literally scattered throughout the world. For many companies, large and small, connecting with other ventures internationally can seem like a daunting task. It forces management to shift their field of vision from a local concentration to a macro view of the world. The prospects of global engagement provide an almost immediate opportunity for business expansion. And the good news is that the processes involved in becoming integrated into synergistic networks of mutually beneficial international business relationships have never been easier to accomplish. In the organizational transition from an independent, standalone, monolithic business presence to one of an engaged member of a significant federation, the importance of creating, developing, and maintaining personal and professional relationships cannot be underestimated. That's within the realm of the E of the ETK model. Most business strategies today should include an action plan of how to achieve an operationally successful integration with other organizations. Individual companies networking together will gain substantial leverage with their industry segments. Network inclusion and planned process interactions are the keys to greater accomplishment within the new global economic reality. How to effectively accomplish and manage this integration is our secret formula for growth. One of the most widely accepted business models demonstrating the importance of network business operation is Michael Porter's concept of the value chain. The value chain model provides a foundation for a clear articulation of how important relationships are in a globally integrated economy. Each segment of the value chain is a depiction of the connectivity of one organization to another, joined by the mutually beneficial business relationships which will benefit all involved. Robert Metcalfe, founder of 3Com Corporation and the architect of the Ethernet protocol for computer networks, formulated Metcalfe's law, which states that the usefulness of a network equals the square of the number of its users. In short, Porter's value chain concept is an actionable vehicle for harnessing the power of Metcalfe's law. Becoming a member of a value chain organizational scheme can be instrumental in constructing the synergistic relationships needed to provide Metcalfe's leverage for exponential business growth. The links of a value chain are forged by the formation of personal and professional business relationships. The building and maintenance of a value chain is expedited by the proficient deployment and management of the existing information and communications technologies. The more effectively these relationships are formed and maintained, the greater the potential for economic opportunity and growth. To be successful requires personal dedication and involvement. Consider the obvious need to be totally and effectively engaged to succeed in any activity, whether it's sports, business, or even in your own personal relationships. It is essential that each member of a team is industriously involved in the various activities that can lead to mutually beneficial outcomes. This is how good teams win, and when teams functioning together within a network of teams work in a coordinated fashion for the mutual benefit of all, it is referred to as a win-win proposition. Where does one go to explore the possibility of joining or forming a value chain of internationally oriented network businesses? One suggestion that I would offer is visiting the Federation of International Trade Associations at www.fita.org/webindex/. This site represents an association of associations dedicated to linking business organizations together. FITA is a great place to start your search for likely partners. There is, however, a price to pay for entry to this arena. That price is an individual's or organization's willingness to achieve the level of preparedness needed to provide a value-added contribution to whatever group, team, or business in which they become involved. The value-added advantage needed to gain entry onto this new world economic stage is the possession of actionable knowledge and specific demonstrated capability. A business concern is of course made up of the people who belong to it. It is the talent, energy, and motivations of its people that provide the value-added capability for the organization. For an individual, securing a well-rounded education is undoubtedly the most efficient way to achieve the specialized knowledge organizations are seeking from their current and prospective team members. Individuals prepared with expert knowledge and abilities will contribute more effectively to a network's overall capacity are in great demand worldwide. A leading pioneer in providing the requisite educational background required for professional involvement in this new age of global networks is the San Diego Global Knowledge University. Its unique global competency certification program, made available by its powerful distributive education platform, is an ideal method for gaining the high-level professional practice preparation universally sought after by most companies. I suggest you visit their website, www.sdgku.com. In addition to a well-educated, informed management, organizations invest heavily in their information technology infrastructures. Many of the activities are based on technology, a concept which can be broadly defined as a productive application of knowledge based on scientific discoveries, inventions, and innovations. Technology makes all of us more efficient, less wasteful, and thus provides a more sustainable operational capability. Plugging yourself or your organization into any network requires the development and nurturing of a personal and professional relationship. Most people are familiar with the concept and importance of social networking as it relates to the creation of opportunities and successes. Organizations are also dependent upon these integrated channels of interconnected relationships to succeed. In another module, I will elaborate on this concept and its empowering impact on maximizing value. In summary, the evolution of an integrated global economy has reshaped the business landscape worldwide. Outsourcing now provides a major opportunity for most companies to partner together regardless of their home countries to gain a leverage multiplier advantage for access to new and extended markets. Companies that seek to succeed in this new global economic reality will have to operationally realign their strategic and tactical plans to compete effectively in this new environment. They will need to form new web networks and be able to interact with international partners in real time through available video and audio conferencing systems. Continuous organizational transformation is now a reality in this increasingly rapid changing world of business. I strongly recommend considering the use of the highly adaptive, easy to implement organizational ETK model. Information on how to use this effective tool for organizational change can be found in the archives of the San Diego Global Knowledge University. The business revolution we presented today has been brought about by the economic integration and expansion of global commerce. The rapid development and diffusion of the transportation, information, and communications technologies make it possible to connect with other companies seeking synergistic leverage to compete successfully in the ever-increasing world of international trade. In closing, as the new global economy grows and more nations and communities engage the emerging markets and industries propelled by recent innovations, technologies, and business strategies, a great opportunity for competitive success will open for those organizations willing to network and lead with a global vision and a commitment for achievement and values. The ETK Adaptive Systems model provides a useful framework to realign our human, technology, and knowledge strengths in our shift and transitional efforts to make our organizations more competitive and sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, and let's now go to Module 2 of this program.